Hi beautiful people, and welcome to my channel. Today we discuss a topic that probably has been on your mind at one point or another, and that's missed opportunities. We have all been there. A job offer we didn't take, a relationship that didn't work out and was our fault perhaps, or so we think. Investment opportunities that slipped us by, and the right moment to make this move that now seems to be out of reach, and we are racking our brains about regret and feeling that we missed the opportunity. And yes, we know there's always other opportunities, but sometimes we feel that there were certain moments in life where we could have gone this way or that way, and we kind of feel we missed the boat, we missed the opportunity, and there is no way of retrieving what was once within the reach of our possibilities. Well, I want to talk to you today about a way to reframe this situation, because really missed opportunities are the seed to our success. So hang on, I think by the end of this video we'll have a completely different view of missed opportunities and regret. First, regret is actually an amazing tool for us. And I'm not just saying, okay, we learn from our failures, but regret can be painful. Yes, it is something where we feel a certain kind of perhaps guilt, or we feel we just were not up to par to it, but that is actually the growth potential. Have you ever encountered people, I have many times, who said they had zero regrets? There are famous songs, of course, French chansons about, and Frank Sinatra. Well, as a child, someone very close to me once told me that she would do everything exactly the same as she had done in her life. And I was kind of precautious, always shy and precautious. And so I stepped out and said, well, that means you never learned anything in your life. And she still insisted she would do everything exactly the same. Well, I find that the people who live with regrets and grow beyond them have the true growth potential in their lives. If you feel, oh, I've done everything right and I would do exactly the same, you never really learned from life. And yes, we can do the same because we think we can learn from that, but really life is about looking back and looking at those pivotal moments where we could have pivoted this way or that way. But it's not just out of our reach. In fact, I think these are the moments that regrets or missed opportunities turn into our seeds of success. Hang on, we'll dive into right now. So, give me some examples, you may ask. One famous example, you may or may not have heard of him, is James Altucher. He made his first 10 million quickly, easily, and thought he was set for life. And in a very short order, he made disastrous investments, lost everything, his marriage, his house, his business, and he said he was hanging in a mat, like hanging mat over the Hudson River where his house was at that time, and he contemplated suicide. Well, since then, he twice missed the boat, so to say. He made it all back, lost it again, and now has made it back yet again. Some people would say, well, he is setting himself up for failure, that he has a mindset problem. But perhaps the missed opportunity is where his greatest growth potential is. He has grown enormously as a human being, and he has come up with ways to help others, including his famous agenda where he tells people to write down 10 ideas a day. So even in his worst situation, he had lost everything, he started writing down 10 ideas a day. And then he kept going. And he accredits, I think, not just his own subconscious mind, but it's a way of tapping into the divine. So he lost it a couple of times, made it back, but on the way grew as a person. And not only that, he learned to teach others how to replicate the success he has made and how to avoid some of those missed opportunities and blind spots he had in his own life. There are numerous others, famous people who turned failure, and I wouldn't say failure, we have all had failure, but missed opportunity, which tends to make us be bound up in regret. And this is, I think, the blind spot in the regret. Once you reframe it and see it as the opportunity it is, as the seed of success it is, you unhook yourself from the regret that keeps you back. See, it's a double-edged sword, because unless you see missed opportunities for what it really is, that is a seed of success, it can be an anchor that pulls you down. Because if you see it as something you can never recoup or never get restoration from a missed opportunity, then indeed it becomes an anchor that takes you down. The moment we reframe it and see the missed opportunity as the greatest potential, instead of thinking this is done and we can never get back to the past, then we really can skyrocket from there on out. It also takes a different perception of time. Many times we see time as a linear tunnel in which we are caught and we cannot go back except in memory. And we all know memory does not always serve us well. Two different people inevitably remember the same event slightly different. So memory is not always exactly what has transpired in the past. What we make of this memory, though, is what affects our present and the future. So this is another very, very important shift. Not only is the missed opportunity a seed of success rather than anchor to weigh us down, it also requires a different perception of time. Time is not cut off, time is not over. We can literally recreate time because it only lives in our memory, and our memory is malleable. We constantly change and shift our memories. Not saying you should just make up fantasies that aren't true, but there are ways to reframe it, to see reality and see the past through a different lens that actually allows you to see the stepping stones rather than the whirlwind that pulled you down and where you are tied up with regrets. And surely everyone by now has heard of the plane that constantly needs a course adjustment. Planes, when they take off and are programmed to arrive at their destination, are 99% off course, but they constantly have to redirect and be on course. So the equipment has to be constantly attuned to the fact that it's off course and putting it back on course. So the only regret you would have to have is not realizing when you're off course, not realizing the missed opportunities, because realizing the missed opportunities, realizing the moments of regret are the very seed, the very foundation of getting you to your destination. We've all heard that if a plane is just even a tiny degree off, it will arrive thousands of miles elsewhere rather than the desired destination. So the very course of success requires the recognition of missed opportunities, without the recognition of missed opportunities, really land off in the bushes rather than in the paradise that you might have had in mind for your destination. So remember, the moment you see a missed opportunity, the regret is not something to pull you down. The regret is a great flag to show you that you are on course, because you realized that you're off course and you can continue to your destination. Interestingly enough, in spiritual practices, or particularly in the Judeo-Christian faith and belief system, failure is baked in. In other words, we all fall short, we all have trouble and tribulations, but that's exactly where, for the Catholics, it was confession or realization of where you're off course. It is in itself the salvation for those of you who are spiritually inclined, rather than being with blinders and never realizing that you are, off course. These kind of faith and belief systems recognize the importance of humanity and of the individual, to recognize the sins, the fallen moments, as exactly those elements that lead to the higher development of the human soul, of the human development. And whether you are a believer or not, there are very important lessons for us, even in business and in daily life. So the next time you notice a regret, the next time you think of a missed opportunity, think of that this is actually the path that you want to achieve, because it gets you much further than if you had not recognized your failures, your regrets, your missed opportunities. And of course, we have an example from the fashion world. Vera Wang, of course, nowadays one of the most iconic, enduring fashion designers. She had many missed opportunities, and some so severe that she really thought her life, as she had planned it, was over. She started out as an ice skating champion. And when that ended, it seemed all of her dreams were over. She had missed her opportunity. She had failed spectacularly in her mind. Well, she did become an editor for Vogue, but that perhaps was also not exactly where she was wanting to be, because it took her until she was 40 until she realized she still was off course. Even as a fashion editor, she was not. The fashion editor job, in a sense, was a missed opportunity for her to accomplish her real destiny, and that was the fashion designer she has since become. So twice she seemed to have derailed her destiny, seemed to have missed the boat, failed in a way that didn't fulfill her destiny, and yet she, after the age of 40, has become the spectacularly appealing and dazzling fashion designer, especially bridal fashion designer. She is still now in her mid to late 70s. So what if she had thought, oh, I missed my opportunity, I missed the boat as a figure skating champion, or okay, I've done my job as a fashion editor, there's nothing else. And instead to make the leap forward and realize I may have missed the boat in the past, but the new opportunity is always there. It's never completely missed. One more example is, of course, Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx. And before she became the billionaire she is now, she tried to become a lawyer. She failed her exam twice. Devastated, she took a sales job selling fax machines at that time, going door to door. For her, it seemed she had completely missed the opportunity to make something out of her life and become a lawyer as her original dream was. Well, during her time as a salesperson, she learned so much about human nature and combined with her logical mind that her time when she was studying law had honed in her. She later invented Spanx and became not just a brilliant salesperson, but an entrepreneur who had the ability to think outside the box and become the first great billionaire in her niche that took something, by the way, that a lot of people felt, oh, you know, the type of Spanx. They had several iterations of these kind of garments had already been floating about. She wasn't the first to come up with that idea, but she was the first to make it into an enterprise and into an empire of her own. Out of all the missed opportunities that littered her path, but she didn't use them as anchors to flagellate her and pull herself down. But I'm sure she had many desperate moments, but she brought it all together to create the seeds out of success, seeds for success out of the missed opportunities. So where are some of your missed opportunities? Can you think at least of 5 in a lifetime? And what if, instead of regrets, or what if instead of putting them aside as just negative periods in your life, you could pull them out and see the seeds of success in the missed opportunity? And yes, feel the regret, but use the regret as fuel to recalibrate and to get to the destination you're meant to be. See you soon. Bye.